Welcome to Storytime with Nanny. Summer. Okay, we're going to pick back up in our Open Windows is the name of this book, and it is an Rebecca book, and it is written by Ellen W. Lavelle and Mary Louise Freeble. And we're going to start with Lunch for Bobby. As Anne was going down the street, Bobby's mother called her. "Bobby forgot his lunch," she said. "Will you take it to him, please?" Then Bobby's mother said, "Where is your lunch, Anne? Do you take your lunch with you?" "No, I get my lunch at school," said Anne, and away she ran. Anne's dog ran after her. "Go home, Pogo," said Anne. "It's no use for you to look at Bobby's lunch like that. This is Bobby's lunch." And there's Summer. He's got a little boo-boo where he scratched his face that we're working on getting better. But he wanted to be here today. Well, he's here every day, but he wanted to be up here with me, I guess. "But go home, Pogo," said Anne. "It's no use for you to look at Bobby's lunch like that. This is Bobby's lunch, and you can't have it. Go home now." But Pogo did not go home. He went to school with Anne. Anne looked around at school, but she did not see Bobby. "Come and play," called the girls. "Come and play, Anne." Anne put down the lunch. "I will play with the girls," she said. "Then I will take the lunch to Bobby." This time Pogo did not run after Anne. He did not go with her when she went to play. He did not go with her when the boys and girls went into school. "Boys and girls, who is going to be here for lunch?" asked Miss White. "Oh," said Bobby, "I forgot my lunch." "Oh, Bobby," said Anne, "I have your lunch for you. I put it down when I went to play." Then Anne said, "Miss White, may I run and go get it?" When Anne ran out, there was Pogo eating Bobby's lunch. "Stop, Pogo," said Anne. But it was no use. Away ran Pogo, and Bobby's lunch went with him. "Oh, no," said Anne. "What should I do now?" When Anne went in, she said, "Pogo ran away with Bobby's lunch." Then she said, "Here, Bobby, you can take some of my lunch money and get your lunch at school." "I don't like to take your lunch money, Anne," said Bobby. "You can't get a good lunch with what you have there." "I know you don't like to take my money," said Anne, "but I forgot your lunch, Bobby. I think I should make up for that, don't you?" And Bobby was worried she wouldn't, with what little money she'd have left over for lunch, she wouldn't have a good lunch for herself, but she ended up being responsible for Bobby's lunch, and then her dog ate the lunch, so she did the right thing because Bobby still needed to eat his lunch. That's always been my favorite meal of the day. So, she sacrificed, didn't she? This is called At the Bus Stop. "Come on, Peter," called Bobby. "It's time for the school bus." Bobby ran down the street, but Peter did not go with him. "I will go when I see the bus," said Peter. "When the boys and girls get on, I will run as fast as I can. That big boy will not have time to run after me and take my hat." When Peter saw the bus, he ran as fast as he could, but the bus had to wait for him. The man on the bus did not like that. "Can't you come on time?" he asked. "Oh my," thought Peter, "what will I do now? I can't make the bus wait again. I will have to think of something." The next day Peter went to Bobby's house. "Will you go to the bus stop with me?" asked Peter. "That big boy will not run after me if you are there too." Bobby laughed. "That boy could not run after you if you did not run away," he said. "Come on, Peter, I will go with you." The big boy was at the bus stop. When Bobby and Peter came, he laughed and ran up to Peter and Bobby. Bobby did not run away, but Peter did. Away ran the big boy after Peter. "I'm going to get you," he called. "I'm going to take your hat." The next day, Peter did not wait for Bobby. He did not run on the way to the bus stop. He did not run when he saw the big boy. "This time I'm going to surprise him," said Peter. Now I know he will not run after me if I do not run away." The big boy ran at Peter. "I'm going to get you," he called. But this time Peter did not run. The big boy looked surprised. "Why don't you run?" he asked. "It's fun when you run away." "It's not fun for me," said Peter. "Why don't you run this time?" So he had to stand up to what's called a bully, didn't he? Because the big boy was being mean to him. And I never understood why children felt the need to be mean to one another. You know, we're just all trying to get through this life, this world, and we need to be nice to one another. And if you're having somebody that's being mean to you like that, then you need to tell somebody. You need to tell a teacher or your parents, someone you can trust, and maybe they need to help you with that. This one is called 1 and 2 and then comes 3. Nancy looked down when she saw Miss White looking at her. "Nancy, we are happy to have you at May Street School," said Miss White. "I think you will like it here." Nancy did not look up. "Anne, will you see that Nancy has a good time?" asked Miss White. "When we go out to play, will you please take Nancy with you?" When they went out, Anne said to Nancy, "Let's play hopscotch. When we play it, here we go 1 and 2 and then comes 3. May Street School is the school for me." "We did not play it that way at my old school," said Nancy. Anne looked surprised. "Don't you want to try it?" she said. "Oh my," thought Nancy, "if I do it wrong, they will think I don't like the way they play." Then she said, "I don't think I want to play hopscotch right now." Nancy ran to the slide where Peter was playing. "The slide is not as big as the one at my old school," she said. Peter looked surprised. "We like it all right," he said. "Don't you want to try it?" "Oh yes, I'm going to try it," said Nancy. "I just said it's not as big," and up the slide she went. When Nancy came down, Peter was not there. She looked around. No one came to play with her. Then Anne went by. She did not stop. She did not look at Nancy. Nancy ran after her. "Wait, Anne," she said. "Why don't you want to play with me?" "We do want to," said Anne. "You are the one who will not play." "Oh, but I will," said Nancy. "I want to play with all of you." Then Anne said, "You don't like the way we play hopscotch. You don't like to go on the slide. All you think about is your old school." "Oh, Anne," said Nancy, "I did not know I was doing that. I do miss my old friends, but I want to make new ones too." "Come on," said Anne. "You can try again." Anne and Nancy went to play hopscotch with the girls. "May I play?" Nancy asked them. "I want to try it the way you play." "This is how we do it," said Anne. But Nancy laughed and said, "I think I know, Anne. 1 and 2 and then comes 3. May Street School is the school for me." Well, I think they both had to learn something. It was hard for the new girl, wasn't it? She did miss the things that she was used to and the people, her old friends that she had, and she was worried that she wouldn't do something right, and so that was stopping her from trying. And we don't need to let that stop us from trying to do something. And then she learned that she's just going to have to give it a try and do her best, and she did do a good job, didn't she? And then she said, Anne said that she felt like, "Oh, you think about your old friends and you don't like our way of doing things," is how she felt. But that wasn't the case. She was just upset about being the new person at school, wasn't she? So they both learned something. Now this one is called All by Myself. "Oh me, oh my," said Peggy. "Do you think I will have enough money to get a big surprise for Mother?" "Not with that," said Will. "But I have some money, Peggy. I will help you get a big surprise." "I don't want help," said Peggy. "I want to get something all by myself." "Come on," said Carol. "We will go with you to help you look." On the way, they had to stop and get some things for Mother. "Oh, Carol, look at this," called Peggy. "I will make a cake for Mother." "How will that be for a big surprise?" Carol laughed and said, "Mother will like that, Peggy. I will help you make it." "Oh no," said Peggy, "I'm going to make it all by myself." The next day when Mother went out, Peggy started to work. Carol came in to see if Peggy could find what she wanted. Then Will came and said, "I know you don't want help, Peggy, but how are you going to find out what it says on the box?" "I forgot about that," said Peggy, "but Carol can help me with that." "What about candles?" asked Will. "Did you get some candles, Peggy?" "Candles?" said Peggy. "Oh, Will, I forgot about candles, and I have used up all my money." "What about the icing?" asked Will. "A cake has to have icing." "How do I make it?" asked Peggy. "I will make the icing," said Carol. "You go get the candles, Will." "Oh, thank you," said Peggy. "Just help me get started, and I will make the cake by myself." When Peggy ran out to play, Will and Carol went to see the cake. "Oh my," laughed Carol. "This is going to be a surprise for Mother, all right." "I will call Peggy," said Will. "She will have to clean up." "You know she could not do it by the time Mother comes home," said Carol. "Come on, we will have to help her." At lunch, when Peggy came in with the cake, Mother said, "Oh my, what a big surprise this is." "I did it all by myself," said Peggy. "All by myself." Then Will smiled at Carol, and Carol smiled at Will, but they did not say a word. Well, she was so young that Peggy didn't understand she needed help, and she didn't really acknowledge and thank the ones that helped her. But because of her age, her older brother and sister thought that's okay. She was proud of what she did for her mom, and she should have been. And they just let her take all the credit, even though they did have to help their baby sister. This next story is called In a Minute. "It's time for lunch," called Danny's mother. "Come in now, Danny." "In a minute, Mother," called Danny. "I just have to make one little street, and then I will come." He's busy playing. As he started to go in, Danny saw Will going by. "Where are you going?" called Danny. "I'm going to be in the parade," said Will. "Oh, wait for me," called Danny. "I will eat lunch and go with you." "I can't wait," said Will. "I have to be there on time. You can come after lunch with Carol and Peggy." Danny ran into the house. "Just look at you," said his mother. "Go and clean up right now." "All right, Mother," said Danny. "May I go to the parade after lunch?" "Will is going to be in it. Mother asked you to go and clean up," said Danny's father. "Are you going?" Danny looked surprised. "I'm going in a minute," he said. After lunch, Danny went out to wait for Carol and Peggy. "I'm all ready to go," he said, "and I think there is time to make this little street. I will work on it just for a minute." "Oh, Danny, you are not ready," said Peggy when the girls came by. Danny jumped up. "I will be in a minute," he said. "We can't wait," said Carol. "Come on, Peggy." "Wait for me," called Danny, and he ran in to clean up again. When Danny came out, the girls were not there. He ran down the street as fast as he could go. "Where is it?" he asked a man who was going by. "Where is the parade?" "Oh, you missed the parade," said the man. "You missed it just by a minute." Well, it's not polite to keep people waiting on us, is it? And he just thought, I guess, everybody should be on his time schedule, but the parade didn't wait for him, did it? So we need to be on time. This next story is called Jack's New Train. Jack looked at the train in the big box. For a minute he was so happy he did not know what to say. Then he said, "Oh, thank you, Uncle Peter, thank you." "Look what was in my box," cried little Betsy Ann. "A toy duck. It can say quack, quack." Jack started the new train. Clickety-clack it went. Clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Betsy Ann put down her duck. "I want to try it," she said. "I want to run the new train." "No, you don't know how to run a train," said Jack. "Can't you play with your duck?" "I don't want to play with my duck," said Betsy Ann. "I want to run the new train." Clickety-clack, clickety-clack, the train came to a stop. "Okay, you can trot," said Jack. Betsy Ann started the train too fast. Clickety-clack, clickety, down went the train. "Now look what you did," cried Jack. "Oh, Jack," said Uncle Peter, "the train is all right. Betsy Ann just started it too fast. Look, I will start it again." When the train started again, Betsy Ann did not look at it. She did not look at Jack. She did not play with her new duck. Clickety-clack went the train. But now it did not make Jack happy. What can I do, he thought. I can see why she wants to play with my train, but she is too little to run it right. Then Uncle Peter said, Jack, why don't you let the duck ride on the train? Oh, cried Betsy Ann, my duck would love that. All at once Jack was happy again. He put the duck on the train. Here we go, said Jack. Quack, quack, said the duck. Clickety-clack, 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 said Jack's new train. Sometimes we are too young to either play with certain toys or do certain things, but the uncle was smart and found a way that they could all participate and have fun with the train, didn't he? This is a poem, and it's by an unknown author, and it's called Golden Keys of Courtesy. And the keys aren't what we think of keys, like that opens our door to our house or cranks the car for us to go somewhere. It's just a symbolic meaning. So it's just useful for things that are useful for us to use. A bunch of golden keys is mine, to make each day with gladness shine. Good morning, that's the golden key that opens every day to me. When evening comes, good night I say, and close the door of each glad day. When at the table, if you please, I take from off my bunch of keys. When friends do anything for me, I use the little thank you key. If by mistake some harm I do, excuse me, I beg your pardon too. Or if unkindly hurt I've given, I'm sorry, forgive me, I'll be forgiven. On the golden chain these keys I'll bind, they help me always to be kind. That's always using our manners, isn't it? This one is called Something to Wait For. That looks as if it's going to be a good airplane, said Jimmy. Someday, Bill, will you make me one like that? Someday I may surprise you, said Bill, but right now you can help me by finding a pencil. I have to go and get something, but I will be back in a minute. When Bill went out, Jimmy started to look for a pencil. That was when he saw the money. Oh, Bill has 3 dimes here, he said to himself. I think I will ask him if I may have a dime for some candy. Jimmy helped himself to one of the dimes. I know Bill would let me have this if I asked him, he thought. I will get the candy now and tell him about it when I come back. As Jimmy came out of the house, he said to himself, Bill likes candy. I will get some for him too. Then everything will be all right. Jimmy started to run. Yes, he said to himself, Bill likes candy as much as I do. Everything will be all right. But when Jimmy came back, everything was not all right. He thought Bill may not like it when he finds out about the dime. What will he say when he sees the candy? Then Jimmy put the candy away where Bill would not see it. Jimmy went to look for Bill. Is your airplane just about ready? He asked. No, I could not find what I was looking for, said Bill. Then I thought I would go out and get the things I wanted, but some of my money is missing. I know I had one more dime. Do you see it around here, Jimmy? Jimmy looked around for a minute. No, Bill, I don't see it, he said. I am sorry, Jimmy, said Bill, but now you will have to wait for your airplane. When I get some more money, I will work on it again. My airplane, cried Jimmy. I thought this airplane was for you. No, it's for you, said Bill. I was going to surprise you. Then Bill laughed and said, You don't look too happy about it, Jimmy. Don't you like my surprise? Oh, yes. I just don't like to have to wait for my airplane, said Jimmy. But he did not sound happy when he said it, and he did not look happy as he ran out. When Jimmy came back, he said, Bill, I have a surprise for you too, but it's not going to make you happy. Bill saw the candy that Jimmy had. Candy will make me happy, he said. Not this candy, said Jimmy. I used your dime to get it. Oh, said Bill. I see. I am sorry, Bill, said Jimmy. Will you let me help you again? Someday I may surprise you, said Bill, but now you will have to wait for that too. So, Jimmy took something that was his, and he considered it, I guess, borrowing, but when you take something without permission from the person that owns it, then that's stealing. So, He really was bad, but he at least did the right thing by telling the truth, didn't he? That couldn't have been easy for him to tell the truth. But the sad thing about it, or the kind of funny, is the money was going to be used for him. And his friend was going to spend that on him to fix up his plane. For him to have his own plane. And now he was going to not have his plane because he didn't have his friend didn't have the money he was going to use to help make it. So that was a lesson learned, wasn't it? We don't take things that aren't ours. And we do tell the truth. This story is called Enough for Everyone. Julie was helping her father. "Oh, here's where the carrots are," she said. "I hope you put in enough of them. I like carrots." Father laughed. "We all like carrots," he said. "I think there will be enough for everyone, Julie." Day after day, Julie went out to see how big the carrots were. When Tommy came to play with her, she would take him to see them too. One day Tommy said, "I think they are big enough to eat now, Julie." Julie pulled up a carrot. "Oh, how little it is," she cried. "Try some more," said Tommy. "They can't all be as little as that." But all the carrots Julie pulled up were much too little to eat. Julie looked at the little carrots. "Oh, Tommy," she said, "Father will not like it when he sees that I pulled them up." "Why don't you give them to the rabbit?" said Tommy. "Then if your father says, 'Did you eat them?' you can say no." It will be the truth, too. Julie did not know what to do, but she had to do something. So she let the rabbit eat the carrots. When Father came home, he said, "Someone started eating the carrots. Was it you, Julie?" "No, Father," said Julie. "It was the rabbit." "Did you let him out?" asked Father. "Oh, I would not do that," said Julie. Then Father said, "I don't think the rabbit could get out by himself, but we can tell in a minute if he did. Come on, Julie, let's go and see." When they went out, Father looked around for a minute. Then he said, "You see, Julie, the rabbit did not get out. Even if he did eat the carrots, someone had to give them to him." "Who do you think did it?" asked Julie. "I don't know," said Father. "Do you know, Julie?" Julie could not look at her father. "Yes, I know," she said. "I did it." At first, Father did not say a word. Then he said, "Bye and bye, Julie. The first carrots will be ready, but I'm afraid there will not be enough for you." "But you said we could have enough for everyone," cried Julie. "We did have," said Father, "but you let the rabbit eat yours. I hope there will be enough for everyone else. We all like carrots, you know." I think Julie, she had to fess up and tell the truth too, because she knew she did wrong. But hopefully Julie also learned patience, because if she pulled up one and maybe two carrots, that was enough to know they were too little. She didn't need to pull them all up to find out that they were all too little and they needed to grow some more. Now this little poem doesn't have an author's name, but it's called Mother's Helper, Father's Helper. And I cleaned my room and made my bed and did just what my mother said. That's why I have this happy grin and wear a mother's helper pin. I rake the yard as Father would and shine my shoes the way I should. I did the best that I could do. That's why I wear a new pin too. This is What George Forgot. "Goodbye, Mother," said George. "I am ready to go to the party." "Oh, George, you funny boy," laughed Mother. "You are not going to Bobby's party like that, are you? He's dressed like a pirate." "Yes," said George, "I'm going to take this hat. It will help me at the party." Then he ran to get something else. "I think I will take this too," said George when he came back. "What for?" asked his mother. "Don't you think they will have things to play with at the party?" "Oh, yes, I guess so," said George, "but this will help me have fun. I know something else that will help me too." And he ran to get it. "Is this a game?" asked Mother when George came in again. "You are not going to take that to a party, are you?" "Yes, I am," said George. "It will help me make friends." "How?" asked Mother. Boys and girls like to play with things like this, said George. The drum set, the fishing pole. When they play with my toys, they will play with me too. And he ran to get something else. Look, George, said his mother, when George came back, this time you have to take this box of things that Bobby's mother asked for. I don't see how you are going to take all your toys with you too. Could you take the box for Bobby's mother? Asked George. It would take you just a minute. Why, yes, I guess so, said Mother. All right, I will take the box, but we will have to go right away. At first, George thought everything would be all right at the party. Everyone liked his toys and wanted to play with them, but then he saw that something was wrong. The children did play with his toys, but they did not play with him. Oh my, he said to himself, what will I do now? When George's mother was ready to go, she said, I think you forgot something, George. There is one more thing that you really should have at a party. I can see that something is wrong, said George. What is it that I forgot? Your smile, said his mother. How can you make friends at a party when you do not have a smile? Oh, Mother, laughed George, that is it. That is what I forgot. He really didn't have to take all those toys, did he? There were things and games for the kids to play when they got there, and but he did need to take a smile. Well, I hope you find plenty to smile about today, and I hope you enjoyed Story Time with Nanny, and I will hopefully see you next time, and you have a great, blessed day.